Hey guys, what's up? It's Fern. Thank you so much for joining me for another Planty video. Yes, my friends, the day has come. Today we are doing an updated plant tour, which oh my goodness, I've been meaning to do this for quite some time. The last one I did was right after I moved in here, which I moved in here a year ago now, so it's been a while. If you are new here, hi, hello, thank you so much for joining us. I would love for you to hit that subscribe button. I make tons of different planty content, so if you're into houseplants, then there will probably be something for you on my channel. Okay, I'm just gonna try to give some quick background information before we start. First of all, I live on Vancouver Island in Canada, so in the Pacific Northwest, it is very rainy and gloomy for a large portion of the year. I have two south-facing windows which don't always get direct sunlight despite being south-facing, which is very annoying, but it just depends on the season. Sometimes the sun is too high in the sky. The one in my bedroom also is like covered, so very minimal direct sun comes in through that one. I'm ground level, so I feel like it would be a lot better if I was like higher up, but what can you do? My place is also very small. It is, I believe, 500 square feet. Some people comment and tell me it's not that small, but like, I feel cramped. Like, I can assure you it is small here. You can see basically my whole place just in this shot. It's one of those situations where the living room like is the kitchen, you know, it's just like one, I was gonna say big room, but it's actually quite a small room. And then other than this room, there's just my bedroom and a bathroom. And I have, are you ready for it? I just counted this morning, over 180 houseplants in here. I do not even know how this happened. How did we get here? Needless to say, I am going to be downsizing. I already have like a list of some plants that I'm going to be giving new homes. I did want to film this video though to just kind of like document everyone, get everyone in the video. I thought that that would be nice. But I am definitely at that point where I'm feeling stretched a little thin with these plants. I also have like doubles, duplicates, because I've potted up propagations, which I've said before, I don't like having doubles just because of space reasons. Like if I live somewhere bigger, then it'd probably be fine, but just for me right now, I like to rehome my doubles. All right, so we are gonna be going through every single plant in one video, so it's gonna be a long one. Grab yourself a cozy beverage, grab yourself a snack, buckle up, don't forget to like the video. I would really appreciate that. And let's just get started. Okay, so I'm just gonna start off with kind of an overview of my space. So as you can see, the plants are all pretty much clustered on one side of the room, especially around the window there, because obviously that's where the light is. But yeah, this is kind of the situation. My couch, my desk, TV, that's my front door right there, south-facing window here. And then this room over here is my bedroom. So there's another south-facing window there, but that's the one that has like the like overhangy thing. I do also have a small window in my kitchen here. It gets some, like you can see there's like a tiny bit of light coming in here right now. And that light is actually a reflection from my neighbor's window up there. So this is east facing, but it is 4 p.m. right now. So this is definitely not morning sun that is coming in here. It's just the reflection. Okay, so that's kind of the overview of the layout. So now I will just take you through each plant specifically. We'll start right here with my Philodendron Dean McDowell, which is a hybrid of Philodendron gloriosum and Philodendron pastazanum. It is a crawling philodendron, as you can see. It is in this large like bowl type planter, and this has been a really good grower for me. If there's one thing about me, it's that I love philodendron hybrids. They tend to get the best traits from their parents. They tend to be really hardy, fast growers, just great plants overall. So this is the newest leaf on mine right here. It's still kind of expanding and hardening off. You can see it's very shiny. The one problem that I do have with this plant is that it always gets a crease when the leaves are unfurling. So it literally happens on every single leaf and it's always in the same spot. Like, it's honestly the weirdest thing. And I've tried so hard with this new leaf to not get that crease. I was misting this multiple times every day when it was unfurling and it still came in with the crease. So like, what the heck? This boggles my mind. Does this happen to anyone else? Because it's actually quite frustrating. Anyways, other than that, this plant has been easy. Behind it is my Tenanthe Liberciana. This is the only Tenanthe in my collection. I do have some Calathea, which it's related to, but this is the only Tenanthe I have. And it is beautiful. I love the yellow variegation. This has been a really great grower for me as well. I actually recently upgraded the pot, which I'm very excited about this, you guys. I upgraded to these new self-watering pots, and they have like the water gauge thingy, which feels so bougie. I have just never had any of these pots before, so I'm really excited about it. And it is in the Crystal Star Soilless Mix. They're like pond dupe, which I've been loving so far as well. So I'm excited. I was happy to just like kind of give this plant an upgrade because this is one that kind of tends to get overlooked in my collection, but she really does deserve all the love. So hopefully she's going to thrive in that new setup. And then way over here on the other side of my desk is my Philodendron Mexicanum cuttings. I recently chopped up pretty much this entire plant because the stem snapped, and these are well rooted now. It's been rooting in water for probably a few weeks at this point, and basically anytime I can pot this up, it's just a matter of when I get around to it. But yeah, it seems to be happy here, just like hanging out in water for now. I love the dark foliage of this plant and the beautiful backs. Like, look at that. So pretty. I think I'm actually going to jump back and do the plants in my kitchen. I'm trying to like delay doing this section because I really just don't like the way that the light is coming in right now. So we're going to hop back over here. These flowers can go over there. Okay, so like I said, this is an east-facing window. As you can see, I am directly facing a cement wall, so light is minimal through this window, but it does get sunlight, and I do keep plants here. First of all, we have my staghorn fern, which I've had for years. This is honestly like one of the first plants that I got. This was like, I feel like these were really hyped up when I was first getting into plants like 4 years ago. They were like they were one of the like very cool plants to have, which I still think they're very cool. Like, this gives such a vibe. I love it. The only thing is that mine is not particularly happy. It could definitely be in a better spot, but I just don't really have a better spot for it. I would love to be able to give this plant more light, so hopefully one day I will be able to give it more light, but for now it's just kind of like hanging on, you know. It did give me this new leaf this summer, which was really cool. It's actually given me a couple new leaves this summer, which is promising to see. But yeah, I mounted this on here just with sphagnum moss. This is cork, and it's just like hanging by a command hook. I just water it whenever the moss gets dry, and yeah, don't know too much about it, but I sure do like the way it looks, so I just have it hanging there. Over here we have my baby Raven ZZ plant, which I've had for a year and a half now, and it's still literally just this. I have another Raven ZZ cutting, actually it's right here, I'll show you in a second, I forgot I moved it to that window. Yeah, these plants just basically don't grow for me. I love the Raven ZZ. I would love to have like a large full one. They're still kind of expensive where I live, so I've just been trying to grow out like my small ones for literal years. Like, I'm not even exaggerating, it's been years, and I do not have much to show for it. Beside that guy is my cutie Peperomia Parallel. I recently potted this up. This was cuttings that were sent to me by a friend, and I just think that this is like the cutest thing ever. Like, I'm being converted onto peperomias, I think, because I'm so obsessed with the way that this looks on my windowsill. It is just so precious. I love the contrast with the terracotta pot, and I feel like this is going to be a really easygoing plant, so loving that. Next to that is my Hoya Wyetii, which I've had this for a few years as well. This started from just like a small 4-inch plant, and now it is pretty robust, honestly. Like, look at how many leaves there is. I actually almost got rid of this in the winter because it just wasn't doing well. This window is like particularly dark in the winter, so I kind of have to like reevaluate my whole planty setup whenever the seasons change. So I usually make videos. I made like a spring one, and then I'll be making a winter prep one as well, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, since it's been summer and there has been more light coming in, it's been really happy. Like, look at these beautiful leaves that it's been giving me. Like, oh my goodness, this one is massive. It's never bloomed for me, but I really do just like the way it looks, so I obviously decided to keep it, and I'm glad that I did. And then, like I said, my Raven ZZ right here, this is actually a stem cutting. This is just like one stalk that I rooted, and I didn't know if it was gonna work, but it did. We've got roots. We've definitely got roots. So I guess it like grows a new rhizome and then turns into a plant. No new growth or anything coming up yet. I did this probably like 6 months ago, I'm gonna guess. So I'm just patiently waiting. I'm probably gonna pot these two together at some point, my two Ravensies. But for now, What? She's on guard. Okay, and then beside that is just a little propagation vessel with variegated string of hearts that I'm trying to get to root. Okay, I guess we'll move over to the plant wall now. This is definitely one of my favorite things in my house as far as plant display goes. I've only had this up for probably 3 or 4 months now, so they aren't trailing as much as I would like them to, but they are doing pretty well. I think that they're finally just really settling in and adjusting to my home. I just love this whole concept of the hanging plants on the wall. I think it's so cute. I do have a whole video. Actually, I'm just gonna say this right now. Anything, most things I have full videos on, both of my cabinet setups I have full videos on. If you're wondering about any of the moss bowls, I have full videos on those. I have a whole video on this plant wall setup, whole video on my hanging plants in my bedroom. So I'm just gonna say right now, I will have a bunch of other related videos linked in the description box if you are interested. But anyways, I will go through these ones now. So the first one is my favorite. Oh my goodness, my couch is so squeaky, don't mind that. The first one is my favorite of the bunch, and it is the green heartleaf philodendron. I feel like this philodendron is just so underrated. She gives so much. She's so easygoing. This plant did not skip a beat when I installed this. These pretty much all, this one struggled, this one struggled. I mean, the Syndapsis is pretty good. That's a pretty tough one too. But yeah, this plant is just been the one that's actually been putting out new growth and just settled right in. Didn't really yellow any leaves or anything. Not any more than what's normal, at least, I guess. Yeah, I just love the way it looks. I love the dark green foliage. I think that you cannot go wrong with this philodendron as a trailing plant. I also have my cute little planty prints over here beside the plant wall if you're wondering what those look like. So beside her, I have my philodendron Brazil, which has struggled a bit, but I think it's finally starting to settle in. Oh, let's pull that leaf out. I think it's finally starting to settle in a little bit more. There is some new growth happening and it doesn't look too bad. I really like philodendron Brazil as well. I think that they're so pretty. I have a climbing one also that I will get to. Next is my neon or lemon lime trailing philodendron, and this is the one that has struggled the most by far. I think that it has the highest light demands out of all these plants, so I think that's why it struggled the most, but I think it's finally settling in. I'm getting some new leaves, and it just looks in general a bit happier than it did a while ago. So yeah, there's that one. I love the pop of color it adds. And then next I have my philodendron micans, which I recently moved this into this planter. This is the only one that's not planted directly into the Wally grow. It's just in a 4-inch pot because it's too small. But this used to be in my bedroom hanging on my bed, and then people were suggesting that I move it out here, so I did, and I actually really like the way that it looks. This one is longer than the others. I do need to chop and prop it soon. Yeah, it's just so pretty. I love philodendron micans so much. This is actually the only micans I have in my collection. I'm just working on getting it more full. And then lastly for the wall, we have my Syndapsis argyrius, which I find to be the easiest and the fastest growing of the Syndapsis varieties. I would love to have an exotica out here, but my exotica is very small and they just don't do as well for me. I knew that this one would do well here, which is why I chose it. But yeah, so pretty. Look at some of the new leaves down here. That is so cute. I really like this one as well. Okay, so next I'm just gonna move down to the plants that are kind of around the couch area here. So this one over here is one of my absolute favorites right now. This is Philodendron Camposportuanum, and this is actually a duplicate. This is a cutting from my mother plant, and I've kind of just grown this one trailing or just kind of going wild, and I love the way that it's growing. There's a few things that I really like about this philodendron, and one of them is the color of the leaves. I love when they're this really deep green. They also can be a lighter green too, and the new leaves come in this beautiful coppery kind of pinky red toned color, and I just think that it is so incredible. You can kind of see this was a newer leaf as well, and it's still kind of darker. So I just love like the whole like tone of the foliage, and then I also love the leaf shape and how the leaves like morph into the more mature shape. So you can just see them like starting to change on this one and get the lobes up top. You can see we have some new leaves coming in. Yeah, I just love this one so much. I'm probably going to be parting with it soon because, like I said, it is a duplicate. So yeah, that's going to be tough, but I do have another really big one, so I'll be okay. And then right down in front of the couch here is my Philodendron Melanochrysum. This is my like mother plant, I guess, that I started from a bunch of cuttings, and I've grown all the way up the pole here. It's at the top now. I've taken this out of the cabinet because I probably am going to be giving this a new home as well, and I want it to like acclimate to regular household conditions. But yeah, she's very pretty. I do have a new plant that I started off of this one, which is in the cabinet, so we will see that one shortly. But yeah, this is like the biggest one, the biggest Melanochrysum that I have. It is so difficult to get these leaves to size up, you guys. Like, oh my goodness, it is like ridiculously difficult. So they're still all small on this pole, unfortunately, but still pretty. And then we have my beautiful Philodendron Painted Lady, which is a staple here on my channel. I love this plant so much. I love the like yellow variegation that it gets and the pink petioles. I just think that it is so beautiful, and mine is starting to get more mature leaves, so I'm just very happy about that. I was gonna just keep growing it out, but I think I might actually chop and just start a new plant with these two big leaves. I don't know, or should I just keep growing it up and see how tall it can get? Like, look at how beautiful it is. It's so big. Oh my. Let me know what you think. And then behind her we have my Begonia Lindodon, which is a plant that I've mentioned multiple times on my channel as well. I'm kind of fed up with it because it just doesn't grow the way I want it to. But yeah, she's just hanging out back there for now. And then we have one of my newer begonias, which is Begonia Thurstonii, and this was just recently potted like within this last week, so it's kind of like adjusting to soil life, but I think that it's doing pretty well. I just gave it another watering last night. Ooh, I think this is that leaf that I really like. It's just like so smooth. But yeah, just another dark leafed begonia. Someone commented that this looks like a kidney, the leaf shape, and it kind of does, which is funny. I also need to give her a stake soon too. Alright, next is my Philodendron Florida Beauty, which I've also been on a journey with this plant. Yeah, been having a bit of a rough go, as you can see. She just like cannot catch a break. First of all, she had thrips and was destroyed. Then my light came crashing down and like burnt half of her leaves. And yeah, it's just been a bit rough. And she's also like losing her variegation, or reverting, I guess, because I just keep getting lime leaves or just like cream leaves coming out of her, which is kind of unfortunate, but I'm just gonna like let her grow a little bit more and see how it goes. I have recently taken her out of the cabinet because I don't know what else to do. I've just like tried everything to make this plant happy, and it just, I don't know. I used to grow it out of the cabinet and it was fine, so I'm just gonna, I don't know, I'm just trying everything, I guess. But yeah, kind of sad because this used to be just like such a phenomenal plant. Like, look at what she used to look like. So incredible. Maybe one day we'll be back there, but until then. Down here, this tiny little baby. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to remember what... I hauled this in my Begonia Flora haul video and didn't know what this was. People were commenting. I want to say like McGill. It's like mix something. McGillivary? I don't know. I will put it on the screen if I can figure it out. But I'm finally getting new growth on this little guy, and look at how cute it is. Like, oh my goodness, I love these little tiny leaves. So precious. As far as I know, this is a terrarium plant, so I just keep it in this little cloche. And it seems to be happy. I think that they like to shingle, so if I could like get this on some type of like climbing setup. Actually, I have the perfect idea for this. Stay tuned. Okay, and then back over here in front of the couch, we have my beautiful Alocasia Dragon Scale, which is quite a beast. This is the newest leaf. Hello. Yeah, this is my Alocasia Dragon Scale. I've had it for quite a while now. I've potted a bunch of corms back into it, so it's really starting to fill out and get a lot of new leaves coming in. She's just absolutely beautiful. Definitely has been a staple on my channel as well. Like, look at her. Oh my goodness, I love this plant so much. Very easygoing, very chill. Growth has definitely slowed down since I moved it out of my IKEA greenhouse cabinet, but I think that's mostly due to it being in lower light now. Anyways, I don't care if it grows slowly, I'm just glad that it's happy. And then down here we have my Calathea rattlesnake, which I recently repotted and tried to like rejuvenate a little because it just wasn't really doing too hot. She looks okay. I'm still waiting for more new growth to come in and for her to just like kind of fill in. Oh, there are some new leaves coming in. Yeah, I have faith that she will bounce back, but yeah, just a small plant for now. Okay, and then the plant that is taking up all of this room over here. Oh my goodness, this thing is just a beast. I honestly don't really know what I was thinking bringing this home. Like, I love it so much. It's just like, I could not leave it at the store, but I also like, I don't know if I can have this in my home either because it's like making this cabinet hard to open. I have nowhere else to put it. But my struggles aside, she is absolutely phenomenal. So this is my philodendron silver sword. I have a whole video about getting her and bringing her home and everything too on my channel. She is obviously huge. There's tons of different vines in here. They're super thick. She's very mature. I have a moss pole to stabilize her back there. She's putting out new leaves. The new growth is a bit smaller. I did repot this plant like a month or so ago, so she's kind of like adjusting to her new environment. But yeah, she is honestly just like mind-blowing how huge and mature the leaves are. This is one of my all-time favorite philodendrons too, but oh my goodness, this leaf is like, I didn't even realize like how long the lobes are. That's crazy. Like the shape is just crazy. But anyways, yes, this is one of my all-time favorite philodendrons. I love silver foliage. So yeah, this has just been like a staple in my collection. I've had a few different ones and came across this one at Home Depot and just could not leave her there. I had to bring her home. Even though I will say she's a little bit of a pain in my butt. I can barely lift this. I had to move her the other day to take her to the shower to wash her off, and honestly, I almost put my back out. So yeah, one day hopefully, like I said, I will be living somewhere with more space and she can have a better home. But for now, we just try to make it work. Okay, so I think that we're going to jump into the Millsbo tall cabinet, which, oh my goodness, we got a lot going on here. I don't even know where to start. As you can see, I have this like top shelf with a lot of my like smaller plants and propagations up here. And then this bottom, well, we have these two corner shelves, which have a lot of my like trailing hanging plants. And then at the very bottom, we have some of my climbers. I will say that I think I'm gonna have to move this shelf down. Like, I think that this is too close to the light. We'll talk about that though once I get to those plants. I think I'm gonna start with these hanging ones here. I might turn the light off in these caps. Okay, I will start over here with this beautiful variegated Hoya. So this is my Hoya Hushkliana variegata. This is one of my all-time favorites. One of my fastest growing Hoya in my collection. I'm still shook at how fast this has turned into like a big bushy trailing plant. Yeah, it's so beautiful. I love the variegation. Incredible Hoya, big fan. And then next to that is my Hoya Croniana silver, I believe. It's just kind of like the splashy silver one. That looks like that. I really want the one that's like entirely silver, like the super silver or whatever. I don't know. There's so many different names for these, but the one that's like the leaf is entirely silver is on my wish list right now. I think that that is just like so pretty. But for now I have this one and it's a really great plant. Really doesn't demand much from me at all, and it's bloomed for me this year too, which is really nice. And then behind those we have my Hoya chicken farm, which has become one of my all-time favorite Hoyas as of this year, just because of the beautiful foliage that I've been getting from it. Like, look at the, I don't know if you call it variegation or like patterning or whatever it is. The coloration of this leaf is so phenomenal. All of the leaves that it gives me, I love like that minty green color, and these leaves are massive. The minty green on the dark background of the leaf is just like so pretty, and we have a couple new leaves coming in there too. And then we have my, oh my goodness, I don't want it to get, it's so crowded. All these vines are in the way too. So then we have my Anthurium pallidiflorum, which is one of my all-time favorite Anthurium, and I recently featured this in one of my last videos where I'm showing off the new big leaves I've been getting in my plant collection because of this leaf right here. This is a new leaf. It's actually still, it's almost hardened off, I think. So I'm being gentle with it, but I'm still just like floored at how big this leaf is. I need to measure it because it is just like incredibly massive. I thought that this leaf was massive. This is the last biggest leaf, but this one is honestly like way bigger. So it's just really cool to see that. That's still in sphagnum moss. I need to pot it up soon. And then I'm gonna have to pull some of these out. Actually, I'm gonna pull this one out first because it's at the front. This is my Hoya Kaimuki. Now, this is a really cool Hoya. I love that the way the leaves come in. Like, look at how dark. I just love that dark foliage. It is so pretty. This, I think I grew it back from like one leaf or something. Yeah, so I thought I was gonna lose this Hoya at one point, I remember, and then it came back and now it's doing really well. Has never bloomed for me, but I look forward to the day. And then we have my Hoya Caudata Sumatra, which I love so much. I love a few things about this Hoya. First of all, I love how fuzzy the new leaves come in. Like, look at that. Is that not just like the cutest fuzzy leaf you've ever seen in your life? I'm obsessed with the new growth on this. I love the silver splashing. I love like the edges of the leaf. Like, they're kind of like undulated. I just think that this Hoya has a lot of really cool characteristics that I am into. Yeah, it's got a lot of new growth coming in right now, actually. I found the same thing last year. It was that at the end of the summer, like going into fall, is when this really started getting happy and taking off for me. So I think it must love like the really like warm weather because yeah, it's been doing really well lately. Ooh, also the other thing that I love about this plant that's worth mentioning are the blooms. They are so like hairy and fluffy. It is absolutely crazy. Mine's never bloomed, but I've seen photos and oh my goodness, I will be so excited when this gives me a peduncle. And then we have my Hoya Sunrise, which has just absolutely taken off for me this year too. This was a very small plant until this year, where it just like pushed out so much growth, and now it's like a whole trailing plant. It's crazy. It's actually unfortunate because this had two separate like clusters of blooms up until literally like a few hours ago is when the second one fell off. I just had to like clean that up in the cabinet. It was all over the other plants, but I was so excited to be able to show you guys in this video. I'll put a photo on the screen, but yeah, it did end up dropping those blooms like literally right before I started filming this video. Anyways, beautiful Hoya. Mine does have some sun. Oh, it has a dead leaf, but it has some sun stressing on the top of it, and then the rest is just kind of green because it's not very close to a light source. And then we have my Hoya sigillatus, which I've had for a couple of years now. I grew this back from just one leaf. It was imported, and then, like, without being acclimated or anything, it was just sold to me, is what I think happened. So literally the whole plant except for one leaf died, but I was able to keep it in a Ziploc bag and eventually revive it, and now I have like a full plant from that, so that's really cool. It's living in pond in a self-watering pot. Seems very happy with the semi-hydro life. Never bloomed for me or anything like that, but you know, it's just growing steadily. Oh, look at all these new, I didn't even notice it had so many new leaves coming in. Oh my goodness. Wow, I consistently find that my Hoyas really love like late summer. Like that is their time to thrive, seriously. I also think I'm going to be growing more or like trying out leca and pon, like growing in semi-hydro again. I've tried it in the past. I'm feeling like I'm gonna give it another go. So yeah, it's nice to see my plants that actually like are happy in it, you know? Makes me feel more confident in trying again. I feel like a lot of these Hoyas are gonna have to come out of this cabinet soon because they're just getting so massive. Which is great, except for the fact that I have nowhere to put anybody. As you'll see throughout the rest of the tour. Okay, so now I will do the ones that are on the bottom here. Also, we're getting into rainbow hour, which is a very exciting time around my place. Okay, so first of all, I'm gonna pull this gal out. I guess we'll just start with her actually. Okay, so this is my Philodendron Majestic, which is a hybrid of Philodendron verrucosum, which I love, one of my favorite plants, and Philodendron Soderoy, which is a wish list plant. I would love to have one day. I just do not have the space for one right now, unfortunately. But I do have this, you know, best of both worlds right here, the hybrid, the Majestic. which as you can see is a big, beautiful plant. I recently potted this up and gave it a moss pole, and you guys, we have a new growth point. I took a cutting of this, which is rooting in water, which I'll show you later, but pretty soon after I potted this up, it shot out this new growth point, which I'm just so excited about. Can't wait to see a new leaf come out of that. But yeah, it seems really happy. It's on this moss pole from North Shore Tropicals, and I potted it just in like a regular potting mix. On my video where I potted this up, I did get people commenting that I used too small of a pot, which it is tight obviously with this moss pole and everything, and I did struggle a little bit to get this in here. But I just like using as small of a pot as possible. Like the smallest the plant can like do well in is what I want to use, just for like space reasons, and I don't know, I just prefer it. So that's why I chose to squeeze it into this pot, and it's doing really well. It does need a shower off of the leaves though, because it kind of catches all the fallout from the plants above it. So maybe I'll just leave it out and then I can remember to shower it later. Wow, everything looks so pretty right now. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna take these out one by one. Here's another Hoya. This is my Hoya Finlaysonii. Now this is my Hoya that fills the Hoya genre of like prehistoric looking leaves. As you can see, I do have a couple newer leaves that are really dark still up here. I don't really have too much to say about this Hoya. It's just, you know, it hasn't done too much for me, but it hasn't really been like a problem plant either. It just kind of like hangs out. And then we have my Monstera Adansonii, good lord, Monstera obliqua Peruvian form, which has been doing pretty well. The main plant has pretty much just been running on me. Like I have a runner that has gone all the way up to the top of the moss pole. I've pinned it all around the moss pole. I'm hoping it'll just root in and then give me a leaf, but there's no leaf to be seen yet. But yeah, I just kind of like made it go in a circle around there, and then hopefully, you know, those nodes will root and I will get a leaf. But for now, it's just been running. However, it did recently shoot out like a new growth point with a new leaf, which is this one, so it's still hardening off. But yeah, it just like shot out a new kind of like vine starting from down here, which is really cool. So I'm glad that that is happening, because not too much is happening with the other part of the plant. All right, next is my Philodendron gigas, which is honestly one of my favorites, and I feel like I don't appreciate it enough, and I think that that's mostly just because it's like usually like hidden in this cupboard. Like it's one of the cabinet, it's one of the like smaller plants, so I feel like it just kind of gets like overshadowed by the others. But I do love this philodendron a lot. I think that it's so beautiful, and it's pretty hardy as well. Like a lot of people say that this does well in like lower humidity. I think I might actually take it out and move it to my bedroom or something, because I think it'll do fine in household conditions, and I just want to be able to appreciate it more because it's so pretty. I did recently repot and give it one of these moss poles as well. This is the newest leaf here. But yeah, I love it a lot. And then we have this beast here. This is my Philodendron serpens, which is just like one of the coolest plants ever. Obviously because of these crazy hairy petioles. Oh my goodness, this newer leaf is even hairier. Like, look at that. It is so hairy. It's just crazy. So mine has 2 leaves. I did recently cut off the original like import leaf. This was so kindly gifted to me by a plant friend. So it's also like sentimental to me because this is my #1 wishlist plant and she gifted it to me, so that was just so nice. This is the newest leaf that it's given me. Still kind of hardening off, but it looks really good. It still looks like satiny, so nice. This one came in with some spots, but other than that, like, it's doing fine. Yeah, always really exciting when this thing decides to give me a new leaf. And then we have my Philodendron verrucosum. This one's looking a little bit, oh my goodness, it's so unstable. Oh my gosh, okay. This one is looking a little bit rough. This is kind of like, I guess, what I'm gonna consider my mother plant now, because I did recently take cuttings that I'm starting a new plant with. but it has given me some like nice leaves lately, and we have like multiple new leaves on the way. This basically grew up to the top of the moss pole and I snipped it. I have the cuttings rooting in my bedroom, so we'll see them shortly. But yeah, I love Philodendron verrucosum. This is definitely one of my all-time favorite philodendrons. That's a new leaf that's pretty, got moss on it, but yeah. This like particular one is not my favorite, which is why I'm starting a new plant. Okay, and then last but not least, we have my Philodendron melanochrysum. This is the top cutting that came off of that mother plant there. Now this is like one of my favorite things right now. I just think that this looks so nice. I recently potted this up onto this thickly pole, which I just think is like the sleekest thing ever. The clear plastic, like, are you kidding me? This looks so good. So I'm just so excited to watch this grow. I did try to attach it with a little dragonfly clip. Obviously this is still like a really young little plantlet. It was well rooted. I rooted it in my perlite box and then I just potted it into this whole setup just like a few days ago, so it's still got to get established, but hopefully it'll grow up and hopefully the leaves will get bigger for me. Melanochrysum is notoriously difficult to get to size up, so that is my mission. Okay, now we are moving on to the top shelf where, like I said, I just have some like younger plants and smaller plants. As I was saying, I think I'm gonna have to change this cabinet up again because I feel like some of these plants are getting bleached or just like getting too much light. You'll see what I mean. Mostly my anthurium, unfortunately, which I just filmed my anthurium collection video like a few weeks ago and they were fine then, but now they're just like not looking good. Could also be spider mites. Honestly, I don't know. That's another thing. If you see any webbing or anything in this video, like, I won't be surprised. You can let me know, but I basically need to like do a mass treatment of my plants, which I should be doing since we're going to be going into fall soon anyways. Okay, so I'm just going to start grabbing them out. First one is my Hoya compacta variegated one, or outer variegated, whatever. This has been one of my problem plants since the beginning of time. It will not grow for me. I'm honestly on the verge of just like chucking it. So that's all I'm going to say about that one. If you know, you know. This is a cutting that it did not have a leaf yet. I didn't know what it was, and it grew and it turned out to be a Syndapsis. Not sure which kind, probably Exotica, but yeah, looks kind of sus. And then we have a Philodendron Burrow Marks Fantasy. Honestly, one of the prettiest philodendron of all time. I would like to grow this into a big plant one day. I recently took a cutting, which you can see. Can you see? Yeah, I took the cutting from there and then it put off this new growth here, which is really nice to see. I do have the cutting still propagating in perlite, but yeah, that's that guy. Big fan of that philodendron. My Philodendron Mame Silver, which I haven't had very long, but I've been struggling with a lot because it was covered in spider mites, and apparently this is a Philodendron Mame thing, which I didn't know just because I've never had one before, so I didn't really pay attention, but now I'm noticing so many people saying that their Philodendron Mame always get spider mites, so I'm just like, okay, I guess this is just a thing with this plant. Now that I know, I can kind of keep on top of treating it and whatnot, but yeah, it kind of blindsided me. Anyways, honestly, a gorgeous philodendron. Like, I did not expect to like this as much as I do. The silver on it is so stunning, and it just has a lot of like really cool characteristics. Like, I love the whole like structure of it. Something about like the way that the leaves, the shape of the leaves, and the petioles. I just feel like this is a really cool looking philodendron, honestly. It's a crawler too. I can't wait to like have it in good health and have it like potted up and everything. Okay, next is my cutie little Hoya serpens. I love this Hoya so much. I think that it is just like so adorable. I love the little leaves. I love how like dark green they are too. Also, these really do look like a snake head if you look closely at the leaves. Like, if you've seen one of these in person, then you'll know what I mean. I didn't really like see it until I actually owned one. But yeah, very cool. And also the like texture of them, very reptilian indeed. I thought that this was going to be a hard Hoya when I first got it, but it has been very chill for me. It hasn't really been like a slow grower or a fast grower. It's just been kind of steady. Okay, I think we have some more little propagations here. This is my Syngonium erythrophyllum prop, one of my favorite Syngoniums ever. Another propagation, I don't really know what this is. My best guess is Micans, little baby Micans, some sort of little velvety philodendron. This is my El Choco chonk propagation. I have 3 El Chocos now ever since mine rotted and I had to chop it up. So I'm really glad that this actually grew into a little plant. It's so cute, one of my all-time favorite philodendrons as well. Okay, so this is one of my anthurium seedlings that I grew like from the berry, from the seed myself, which, like I said, some of my anthuriums are just not happy. This one actually looks pretty good compared to the others. This is a hybrid of Dark Mama and Magnificum, I believe, or Crystal Mag? No, I think Dark Mama and Magnificum. I love the color of the petioles too, like so pretty. That one is in just a chunky potting mix. This is the Crystal Star tropical mix actually, which I'm honestly obsessed with. I want to buy like 10 more bags. It is so good. Look at those roots. This is my Philodendron Brantianum. This is the mother plant. I recently chopped it up because I want to create a fuller plant. I'm so obsessed with Philodendron Brantianum right now. It's actually hilarious because I used to hate them. I actually talked about it in one of my like plants I dislike videos, but now I love it. And this new leaf, like holy smokes, it's so silver. Crazy. You'll see the propagation in a minute too. It's in here as well. This guy is, what are you? Magnificum and Luxurians Anthurium seedling hybrid. I love that it's getting bigger leaves now. You can kind of like see more of that texture come through. I love like getting to see more of the characteristics. So cute to watch it grow. That's just in sphagnum, but honestly it can be potted up anytime. This is, okay, this is probably my saddest anthurium. I don't really know what's going on. Like I thought too much light, but why would it just be happening to the younger leaves? I don't know. And I did check the roots recently and they looked fine. I think I'm going to check them again. I'm going to leave this plant out. But this is my Dark Forgetii and Crystal Meg. And I would honestly be so sad if this croaked on me. So I'm going to leave it out so I can investigate that further after I'm done filming. Alright, here is my Anthurium viridifolium seedling, which is honestly like getting pretty big now. Like look at this one long leaf, it's crazy. And it has another one on the way right there. One of my favorite anthuriums. Again, I love the pendant ones. Next is Philodendron Rio, which honestly just blows me away. I cannot believe like how good quality or how like good the genetics of this specimen in particular are. The variegation is just absolutely stunning. The size of it, it's massive. Like the leaves are just, this is honestly perfect to me. I got this from Plant Haven Toronto, so if you're looking for one, I would definitely buy from them if you're in Canada. But oh man, it is just so pretty. I was honestly not expecting it to be just like so stunning, but it is. It's just incredible. We have another little baby anthurium seedling here. This is my Crystallinum, Magnificum, and Luxurians. And this one is looking really good too. Like the little seedlings actually look healthier than my like larger plants, which I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, this guy's so cute. Next is a begonia, and this is my Begonia Jula. I struggle with these. I decided to put this one into semi-hydro, and that was honestly like the best decision ever. So it's in like a pond, perlite, and leca kind of situation here, and it's been much happier since that because these do not like to dry out. They will just like wilt and die if you leave them for too long without water. But yeah, it's definitely much happier now. Next is another one of my anthurium seedlings that I grew, the Dark Mama and Magnificum. Yeah, not looking amazing. Not exactly sure why. Here is a baby Philodendron Majestic, which has been yellowing as well, and I don't know why. I'm just like, what is going on with some of these plants? I honestly don't know. Like, I cannot seem to figure it out. I'm gonna leave this one out too because I want to check the roots one more time. Actually, well, we'll see. We'll see. But it used to be like more green, as you can see on that older one, and then these leaves are just coming out like they could just be bleached, but the plant could also be unwell, so I want to investigate that. Okay, so here is the cuttings from my Philodendron Brantianum, and oh, I'm just so obsessed. Like, this looks so good. As you can see, they're rooting in perlite, and they're super happy. It's still been giving me new growth, and yeah, it just looks so good. I just love, like, the aesthetic of this plant. I want, like, a full bushy one. Okay, I'm just boiling my tea right now, but look at how pretty it looks in here at this time of day with the sun catchers going. I'm always talking about my sun catchers, but like, are you kidding me? This is so cute. Alright, so now we're going to be doing this area in front of my window and kind of around and on top of my wide cabinet there. So first of all, starting over here is one of my absolute favorites. This is my Syngonium albo, and I have just been obsessed with this thing lately because it has grown so much. It is so tall now. I actually just recently switched it to this tall trellis because it totally outgrew its last one. This thing grows so fast. It's such an easygoing plant. The variegation is just phenomenal. Like, these leaves are so pretty. This is my favorite one down here, actually, with all of the, like, different color blocking. Like, oh my goodness, I just love all the different shades of green. Yeah, such a pretty plant. And like I said, it's gotten so tall. I've had this for quite a long time, actually. This was one of the like OGs in my collection, so it's just been so nice to watch it get taller. I just like kept propagating and adding the cuttings into the pot. So the bottom's pretty full and it's starting to like vine out more. Like I'll have new leaves coming in from like all different parts on the plant, which is really cool. Anyways, yeah, love her very much. And then over here on top of my cabinet, I have quite a few plants. I will say that I have like kind of moved them around a little bit for the purposes of this video, just to make them more visible while I go through them all. So for example, like these plants on poles are usually facing the window. Normally it's not facing out like this. I wish it was because it looks so pretty, but just like for the sake of the plant, I have it facing the light source on a day-to-day basis. But obviously, today I wanted to be able to show them all off and everything, so that's why they're facing this way. But anyways, okay, so starting over here with my Calathea Worshipixii or Jungle Velvet. This is my all-time favorite Calathea. It is so soft. These can get huge. They make such a beautiful like centerpiece in a home. I really want to grow mine out to be large one day. Recently repotted this in my last chatty repot, and right after I did that, it started pushing out a new leaf. So I'm very excited to see that. Can't wait to watch it grow even more. Behind that we have my Nepenthes or pitcher plant, and I recently took a propagation from this. I think like, is that new growth happening right there? That little like nub? I think it might be. But I took a cutting that I'm rooting in sphagnum moss. This plant hasn't been doing amazing. It's only given me this one pitcher this summer and it's like rotting off at this point. So yeah, that's why I want to take a cutting, because I want to start a new plant, but it's just kind of hanging out there. Okay, right here, this is a plant that I am so in love with lately. This is just my regular old green Adansonii, and okay, let me pick it up because I feel like that's not giving the full effect. Like, this is so pretty. The leaves are massive. I'm such a big fan of just like the original Adansonii. I love the like finish that the leaves have. Like, they're almost have like a, I don't know, they just have a really pretty sheen to them. Like, they almost kind of sparkle. Such a robust grower. As you can see, there's a new leaf coming in. I grew this from a wet stick from a cutting from I had a big one that I sold when I moved, and I just took a propagation and the leaf died off, so it was just a wet stick, and then I grew this plant from that. So I'm really glad that I still have like a piece of my original Monstera Adansonii, and yeah, I've just really been admiring it lately. Behind that is my beautiful large Philodendron Brazil, which is climbing, as you can see. This is another one of my favorite plants. I just think that it's so pretty. It's really made me fall in love with Philodendron Brazil, and it's been so cool to grow it climbing because you usually just see them trailing, which is also beautiful. I have my trailing one up there. But yeah, it's just been really cool to grow it on a moss pole. I usually like spin it around so it gets even light. You can see there is a new leaf coming out at the top there. Mine has a lot of like all neon leaves. I don't know, it's kind of got like a bit of weird variegation in that way, but I don't even care. Like, all the mixture of all the different leaves and colors and everything, it's perfect to me. This pole was actually starting to lean, so I put this little chicken in there. This was like a kitchen timer, but it stopped working, so I figured I would repurpose that to like hold my moss pole up. It's kind of cute though. Alright, and then we have my Jade Satin Syndapsis, which has finally decided to give me a new leaf, which is great. And then my, oh my goodness, this moss pole is like falling over. I did a really bad job of putting that moss pole in this pot. This is my Epipremnum Skeleton Key, which I recently potted these cuttings into it, and they seem to be doing well. That's growing in pon. Right here is my Pink Splash Syngonium. which isn't looking too hot lately. I recently took it out of the cabinet. Look at how small the new leaves are. I don't really know what this plant wants from me, to be honest. Sometimes it looks amazing, and then sometimes it just looks kind of shite, so it just depends on the day, I guess. Right in here is my Peperomia Hope, which I recently potted up all of these cuttings, and it is doing really well. My Monstera Peru here, which I actually just took off of the moss pole a couple of days ago. I was going to get rid of this plant, and then I decided I would try to grow it as a trailing plant. So I've done the job of taking it off the moss pole, but I haven't taken the moss pole out. I'm going to repot this, I think, into terracotta. But yeah, the foliage is just so gorgeous on this, so I hope that it does okay for me as a trailing plant. And then back here we have my White Ghost Euphorbia. Not much to say about that. This was a propagation, like a cutting from my original one, which wasn't doing well. And now it's rooted up and it's its own plant now, but it has not had any new growth yet this year. And then right here is, of course, my incredible Amidium medium silver. This is one of my favorite plants, especially like the past few months. It has just been growing so much. I think that it's so pretty. Like I said, I love silver foliage. I love the texture of this plant. Here's a new leaf right here. Yeah, it's just, I love it. I love the way the new leaves come in, like the way they kind of like hang. The structure of them is just like so interesting. We have another new leaf right here too. Yeah, she's just been growing like crazy. And then we have my beautiful Philodendron Camposportuanum. You can kind of see like the red backs coming through because the light is behind it. Oh my goodness, I love this philodendron so much, especially mine lately. It's just been looking so healthy, so good. It's been growing so well. Just like such an easygoing plant, so I really appreciate it. But yeah, look at the dark backs. It is just gorgeous. And then we have my variegated Monstera adansonii here, which thank you so much to the people who commented telling me to move it out of my cabinet, because ever since I did that, I swear like the browning has stopped, which I wish I would have known that earlier, because everything I saw was like people saying that these needed super high humidity and they had them in like terrariums and stuff, but no. The lower humidity outside of the cabinet seems to be much more suited for this, and it's actually giving me a new leaf, and the new leaf actually has green on it, so I'm so pumped about that, because this was really going the route of like getting super variegated. Like this leaf was like completely white, so it's really good to see new growth that has green on it. Yeah, I feel like I'm really gonna fall in love with this plant once it starts like growing and it stops browning and everything. Tucked back here is my Monstera, what is this? Standoliana. I always forget that name for some reason. Monstera Standoliana variegata, the like albo version. This is my favorite leaf on this one. I have a few of these like propagations, but oh my goodness, that like minty variegation, so pretty. This thing is out of control, grows wild. I'm trying to figure out what I should do with this because I'm just like not into this vibe of what's happening here. So if you have any suggestions, let me know, but I could foresee myself chopping this up and like starting it again in the future. It's just like, I don't know, like she cannot be tamed, which it's like, okay, but I need to figure out a way to tame her. And then here we have my Ripsalis Paradoxa Minor, which has given me some new growth, actually two, I think, or maybe just this one. Maybe just this one. But yeah, it's given me some new growth this year, which is really exciting. I love Ripsalis. I love like jungle cactus in general. So yeah, that one just hangs out there, gets some light from the cabinet and from the window, and it seems really happy. We have a just regular string of hearts right here, kind of hanging down. And then we have my string of needles. Ooh, I'll try to pull it out because I do really like this one. This is what it looks like. It's a very cool string of plant in my opinion. It just has these really like slender leaves, and the bushier this gets, the cooler it looks. It's actually quite long too. So yeah, I've just been doing a lot of propagating on this one. Alright, sitting over here we have my precious Philodendron Splendid. This is one of my all-time favorites. Look at how big it's getting. Oh my goodness, I grew this from a tiny little baby plant just under a year ago, and now it is quite large indeed. Very fast grower, very pretty plant. I have multiple vines in here as well, so I get multiple new leaves at a time, which is really nice. This is a brand new one too. I don't want to mess with it too much, but so cute. We have another one coming in right there. Very exciting. Yeah, this plant has been very easygoing. It is doing just fine outside of the cabinet, and I just think that it is extremely beautiful. Oh, this is a hybrid of Melanochrysum and Verrucosum. Just incredible. I love how the leaves are almost like bluey. They're so pretty. And then hanging here, we have my string of spades, which is a little bit different than string of hearts. Mine are getting some big, like, nice leaves on them lately, so I've really been enjoying that. So cute. And then up here, let me pull some of these down. Okay, this is my fern leaf cactus, which I love. I think that this is just like such a pretty jungle cactus. I love the shape of the leaves. It is just like, this is on my wish list, and I got it in a trade this year, and I'm so glad that I have it. I'm obsessed. You can see it has a ton of new growth coming in as well. If you've ever had a rickrack cactus, this is like basically the same, like same care and everything. I used to have a rickrack, which I loved. I sold it when I moved last year, but yeah, those are super beautiful as well if you can't get your hands on the fern leaf. But if you can get your hands on this one, do it. Just so pretty. And then up here, I think I'm going to try to do this without taking them down. This is just a regular string of hearts. It's just on top of the tall cabinet, and then it just kind of like trails down, and it gets light from the window, which works out really well. And then beside that one is a string of hearts Silver Glory. Maybe I'll just pick it up a little bit so you can see. There we go. This is my favorite of all the string of hearts varieties, I think. It is just so pretty. Mine is getting quite long, as you can see, and it's blooming. I usually cut the blooms off, but I just have not gotten around to it yet on that one. Yeah, the foliage is just like, oh my goodness, that is just so beautiful. I love that one. Whew, it's been so hot. My plants are drying out like crazy, and filming this is just like making me realize how much watering I have to do tonight. But it's all good. Oh, I can't forget this one under here. This is actually one of my, this is probably, if I had to pick a favorite syngonium, this would probably be it. This is my Syngonium erythrophyllum. It is such a beautiful dark leafed plant. Like these are like genuinely like very, very dark. Some plants are sold as dark leaf, but then they're not actually that dark. This is actually dark. And the back sides are these beautiful like burgundy, like deep red tone. It is just so pretty, perfect for spooky season coming up. Okay, we're gonna try to do these window ones. In the back corner there, it's so hard for me to reach back here right now, but in the back corner, there's the Stapelia grandiflora. That's the tall guy coming out, and then it's got a smaller, different plant in there as well. I don't have an ID for that one. Neither of those have bloomed for me before. And then beside it, this guy right here is my Hoernia zebrina or lifesaver cactus. That has not bloomed for me yet either, but I'm waiting for the day. I'm very excited for that one to bloom. Euphorbia Richie, something like that, variegata, the one with the leaves. Very weird looking euphorbia. Beside that is my Hoernia zebrina, the variegated version. It's just got like two little pieces, that's all it is. It's actually really cute. I really like this. I hope that it grows more for me. And then we have my Black Pagoda lipstick plant cuttings, which are actually doing really well. They've got quite a few roots, so I need to pot this up. I just changed the water and now it's full of algae again just because it gets so much light. But yeah, it really seems to like being on that windowsill. It's looking so good. And then we have one of my all-time favorite cactus. This is the rat tail cactus. I got this from Plant Haven, Toronto. I had one previously and it unfortunately perished. So RIP, but now I have this one. Look at the new growth it's giving me. I think all three of those little ones that are pointing up are new growth, which is really exciting. Yeah, this has been doing really well for me. Seems happy on the windowsill, of course, and it's pretty long too. I love it. I just think that this is such a cool, I love any like hanging cactus or like jungle cactus, like anything like that. I just love. Okay, and then speaking of trailing cactus, we have probably my all-time favorite cactus back there, which, oh my goodness, it's so hard. Let me go from this angle. it's so hard to get a good view of. Do you see that hairy beast back there? That is my monkey tail cactus. Now, this cactus has had a lot going on this summer, which, oh my goodness, it's so hard to see. This cactus has had a lot going on this summer, and I'm working on a whole video about this one, so that'll actually probably be coming out pretty soon, like within a few weeks. So you'll be able to see it like more up close and personal, and I'll explain everything that's been going on with it in that video. But yeah, sorry, it's way back there. And then we have a trailing jade right there. That was a bunch of propagations that are just like growing like mad. Those are some monkey tail propagations. That is a mouse tail cactus right here. This thing has been growing a ton this year too. And then this is my pinguicula. I forget what type, but it's actually doing surprisingly well. This is also known as a butterwort. It's a carnivorous plant, so it like catches fungus gnats and stuff on its leaves, which is really cool. And I just have this like water reservoir thing underneath of it. It's really weird. There's like little things like swimming in there. But yeah, that's actually doing surprisingly well. Okay, so now we are moving on to the Millsbow wide cabinet. Alright, so I'm going to start over on this side. This first one right here is my variegated vanilla orchid. Should I turn this light off too? I mean, it's not like, doesn't give the pink cast, but it is kind of bright. Let's see. Is that better? I think that might be better. Okay, so the first plant here is my variegated vanilla orchid, which is starting to climb up the moss plank. I am really into this plant right now that it's starting to grow up. I just think that it looks so cute. I love the dragonfly clips. I just think it looks like so dainty and pretty, so I've really been enjoying that one. Beside it is my newest plant, which is the Ring of Fire philodendron. This is the new leaf it just gave me, and yeah, it's just so pretty. I love this philodendron so much. I'm very excited to have it in my care and to watch it grow. This is what the other leaves look like. There's like a half moon one there too. Very cute. Here is what was left of the Mexicanum after it snapped off, and it actually has a new growth point that's starting to do something there, which is why I've left this plant. That leaf is pretty much done, but I think I'm going to be able to grow a new plant out of it, so I've just left that up there. Right here is, of course, my philodendron gloriosum. When my light fell off a while ago, it burnt the corner of that leaf, which was unfortunate because this was my favorite leaf. It is so beautiful. I love it so much. It really sucks that that happened, but oh well. Yeah, this one's nice too. I just think it got a little bleached from when the light was sitting on top of it. Right here is my begonia taiwaniana, I believe. Yeah, this thing is kind of growing wild as well, but it is a very like dainty, pretty begonia. And I think that this can grow outside of cabinet conditions just fine too, so I might transition it to that at some point. Right here is my Hoya quinquenervia, which is just kind of growing crazy too. He kind of goes up here and has some more leaves up there. He's kind of just reaching his tendril all over the place in here. In the back, we have my Syndapsis Silver Hero, which is kind of a bit of a rehab situation. That's in pawn. We have some philodendron Silver Sword propagations growing in pawn. Jula. A baby philodendron melanochrysum. My Monstera siltipicana, which, oh my goodness, this is just like the cutest thing I've ever seen. I'm obsessed with it. Right here we have my variegated Hoya obovata, which I am trying in Leca, which should be interesting. Like I said, I'm trying to get back into, well, I mean, I was never really into it, but I'm trying to give semi-hydro another go. And then we have my Anthurium crystallinum, and what is this crossed with? Okay, crystallinum and magnificum. Yeah, this is actually looking really good. And then in the back we have my variegated subhastatum, which is what we have collectively identified this as. Thank you to everyone who commented on my video where I was talking about this. Yeah, really excited to watch this grow. Very interesting. Did not know that I had one of these, but I guess I do. My Hoya incrosata inner variegated, very pretty Hoya. Love the variegation on this one. Just potted this up not long ago, so I'm excited to watch it grow. My beautiful Anthurium viridifolium hanging down up here. Oh my goodness, yeah, this is just so pretty. This one is in pawn. Working on a new leaf right now as well. Can't wait to see how big that one is gonna get. We have my philodendron tortum right here. It is looking absolutely wild. Oh my goodness, I recently staked it up and I think that helped a little, but yeah, this plant is honestly just like getting too big for the cabinet at this point. Like, it's quite large now. We have Begonia Sinbad propagations, Begonia Sinbad in Pawn, which is currently blooming. So cute. This is one of my all-time favorite begonias as of this year. I love the pink. This begonia is just like a whole vibe. Love it. Also have another little baby one growing in there. Here is another one of my favorite philodendrons, the Burl Marx variegata. Yeah, I just love the variegation on this. I think it's so pretty. I love like the yellowy variegation. Yeah, this plant has some really pretty leaves. I'm very thankful to have a variegated version of this because they seem to always revert on me, but this one is going strong. And then we have my Hoya multiflora, which this was a cutting that obviously was not doing too hot. I just potted this up a couple of days ago, so I'm hoping that it is going to do okay in this pond mix. I'm saying a prayer for it because I really want one of these Hoyas. I love the blooms so much. And then we have my Hoya fungii right here, who's doing pretty well. I grew this from a wet stick, and there's some new little leaves I just noticed the other day that are trying to come in on here, if my camera will focus. Oh, there we go. Little baby leaves. And this was my Begonia Botanicas 1. It has died back completely for the 3rd time. I have the worst luck with this begonia. I love it so much. Like, it is incredibly pretty, but incredibly difficult for me to keep alive. And then we have my Begonia Amphioxus, which is doing amazing. Look at how bushy it is. Like, she's thriving, living her best life. If you want, like, one of these, like, rarer types of begonias, but you're looking for something hardier, this seems to be, like, a really tough begonia, but also has that really kind of, like, exotic look to it. So, yeah, definitely check this out if you're wanting, like, a begonia like this. Okay, hello, welcome to day 2 of filming this video. Yesterday, all 3 of my batteries needed charging and the sun was going down, so I decided to just finish the video today. I've been editing the footage that I've already filmed though, and I realized that I forgot some plants in my Mills Botal cabinet. Like, I just didn't do the last few, so I'm gonna show you those now. Okay, so it's just the few in this corner that I didn't show. So this is the first one, my Anthurium Bakri, which is a really cool Anthurium. Not only is it just like really beautiful, I love the shiny, and again, it's like that pendant type of Anthurium, but I just love how shiny the foliage is. This one looks so healthy. But what's unique about this Anthurium is that they actually self-pollinate. So you can get like berries and grow babies just from this guy by itself, which is really cool. And then we have one of my favorites in this cabinet. This is Begonia Magdalene Madsen, which is a Begonia listata hybrid, and I am so in love with this begonia. It's like velvety and fuzzy and just like so striking. The colors, the dark foliage, and look at the back. Look at the back. Like, are you kidding me? That is so pretty. Such a unique begonia. This has been super tough as well. It's growing in the Crystal Star Pond and it's super happy. I need to repot this soon actually because it's just growing like a beast. New little leaf coming in. How cute. And then I don't think I showed this Anthurium seedling. This is again one of my Magnificum and Dark Mama seedlings, and this one I'm growing in the Crystal Star Pond. I think that this is the happiest one, you guys. So, I mean, it has the yellowing that they all kind of have right now, but it just like looks the happiest, the most vibrant. The petioles are so dark and beautiful. Like, oh my goodness, I really like this one. And just like the leaf shape, I just really like everything about this one. But yeah, it's rooted so well in here. This is why I want to stock up on this soil mix again, or potting mix again, because my plants have just been loving it so far. Okay, and then this is a cool one. This is my Begonia Dracopelta, which as you can see is like a really like weird kind of textured begonia. It's super bumpy. It has like a really kind of like creepy vibe about it, which I really like. This is similar to or has like a similar look to Begonia Milano Bellata or Begonia Ferox, which I love both of those. They have more like pointy bumps though. But yeah, oh my goodness, the new leaf, like how cute. And as you can see, mine is blooming right now, which is super cool. This has been doing quite well actually. I repotted it not long ago. I've got a lot of new growth coming in. Seems to be really happy in the cabinet. So yeah, really cool, unique begonia. I will link in the description box as well some of the main plant shops that my plants are from, that I order from, that I know and trust. So if you're interested, make sure you check that out. Okay, so now we are going to move on to the bedroom. Hello, my lovey bear. Olive is in her little nest here. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an overview of what the room looks like. So we have my canopy bed with some plants hanging on it. I need to like redo this soon. And then we have this whole area, which is like the planty corner area. I have a lot of plants in here. Oh my goodness. So I have a grow light here, which this is just like a tree lamp that I ordered off of Amazon, and then it just has grow bulbs. I think it's all linked to my Amazon storefront. And then I have my amazing Soltech Solutions light up there, which I am still loving, obsessed with. My plants are doing so well. Yeah, I'm a really big fan. I think that I still have a discount code with them too. It's just so gorgeous though. I've been super happy with it. So I have my plant shelf, which gets a lot of light from that light. And then the lower ones down here are getting light from this Mother Plant Spectrum 32 grow light, which is amazing as well. Like this whole setup is just like perfect. Like all my plants are getting the light that they need. I think that it looks pretty sleek. Yeah, really happy with it. And then my windowsill, we have some plants as well, and then just a couple more plants over here, and then we'll go through like all the hanging ones and everything as well. So yeah, okay, I guess I will just start at the beginning here. Alright, I turned all the grow lights off because I feel like you can see the plants better without like the glare of the light, you know? So I'm just gonna start off with this one right here. This beautiful Hoya is my Hoya Mathilde. As you can see, it is wound around this circular trellis. Now, she has grown so much. This is one of my fastest growing Hoya. Like everywhere you look on her, there's new baby leaves coming in. She also has a ton of peduncles. She's just honestly like constantly growing. The parentage of this plant is Hoya carnosa and Hoya serpens, which is really cool. So yeah, I just love like the rounder leaves, but it has the super hardiness of the carnosa. So one of my all-time favorite Hoyas. I have not had it bloom yet, despite it having like 25 peduncles on it. So hopefully one day I will be able to witness that and enjoy that. And then right here, I have a lot of just like little kind of propagations on this shelf, so I'll just kind of fly through those. This one is just a little Paulownia pulchra. I've always struggled with this plant. I don't know why. I've just never really been able to get one to grow nicely. So trying to grow one out from this cutting, but I mean, it's not doing too much. Right here is an Amedrium medium baby that I grew from a wet stick. And then in the back, we have my Philodendron narrow, or Philodendron jungle boogie, which I love this plant. This is actually the plant that made me want to get a Philodendron ring of fire. This is like very similar, except for it's all green. This is such a low maintenance philodendron, but it's also just really unique. Like I don't really have anything like it in my collection. And this is actually a cutting from a friend as well. So that's really cool and has a new leaf coming in. I love how they come in like pink like this. Just so pretty. It will get big too. Right here is another one of my little baby Philodendron El Choco Reds. This one has struggled a lot with the leaves getting caught and whatnot. But I mean, it's still trucking, so that's fine. Right here is a baby Monstera Standaleyana albo. Most of these small ones here have been grown from wet sticks from my prop box. There is another Amedrium medium silver right here, just a little baby. This one is Philodendron Campo Sportoanum. Very cute. I just love Philodendron Campo. I have another one right here actually. That's a little bit bigger. This one is in pawn as well and doing real good. In the front here we have my beautiful Philodendron Squamiferum. This one is like a pretty slow grower for me, surprisingly. I don't know if it just needs to like get going, but yeah, I have a few different plants in here. I do have a new leaf coming in, which is nice. This is the newest leaf on like the largest plant in there, and that's really pretty. So yeah, I love the contrast of like the red fuzzy petioles on this guy. So cute. Really big ones of these are popping up at plant stores and at big box stores right now. So keep your eyes out if you're looking for one. Right here we have my beautiful Philodendron glorious. This is a hybrid of Philodendron gloriosum and Philodendron melanochrysum. And again, kind of similar to the Splendid, it's just like very hardy, a fast grower, just like, I don't know, a little bit more tough and easy to grow than the parents. I have multiple cuttings growing in mine, but like, look at how beautiful. I can't wait for it to get a little bit bigger. We have a new leaf coming in there. It's all kind of facing the back right now because I did just turn it. I usually rotate this plant after I water it so that it gets light on all sides. But yeah, there is like quite a few different plants potted in there. And then beside that one, kind of snuck in here, is my Syngonium Illusion. At least I believe that's what this one is. It's just like the pink one. Doesn't do a whole lot for me, but yeah, just kind of hangs out there. And then here is the Philodendron verrucosum cuttings I was telling you about. I'm just like so obsessed with these cuttings. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. Like, are you kidding me? These are gonna make such a beautiful plant. I cannot wait to pot them up. They are just rooting in water and I do have roots already, so really exciting. They just look so cute there though as little cuttings too. I love it. And then behind that, we have my Monstera subpinnata, which is a really cool Monstera. Oh, hello. A really cool Monstera that you don't really see as often, and it has these kind of like palm frond like leaves. Yeah, I think it's really unique, honestly, and it's been pretty easy going except for when I had it too close to a grow light and it got burnt. So that's why I have moved it over to the center here so it's not getting like super direct light or anything. And it seems to be really happy with that. It's on a moss pole, as you can see. It's actually at the top of the moss pole and it's giving me a new leaf. So that'll be really cool. It's always fun to watch these come in. Anything with like this type of leaf shape is always really cool to watch like unfurl. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about these little propagations. I have not even checked on these in a long time. Oh my goodness, this one needs a water top up, but this one is a Philodendron, or oh my gosh, Hoya linearis, and I can see it's rooted, so I need to remember to fill that up. And then this is a Silver Glory, which is rooted as well. So yeah, I literally have not checked on these for like weeks, but I'm glad that they are doing okay. And then down here on the ground, we have one of my pride and joys. This is my Philodendron SP Silver, which I have recently featured in a video as well because of this big, incredible leaf that it has recently given me. Yeah, this has just been like such an amazing philodendron to grow over the past 6 or 7 months. It's been so easy going. It's done super well for me. I do have it on a moss pole, which it is rooted into. Recently moved it out of the greenhouse cabinet, but it seems super happy to just be in like regular household conditions. As you can see, it gave me this massive leaf. Amazing. And then I guess while we're down here, I'll just talk about this Hoya right here. This is my Hoya Carrii albomarginata, which has honestly always been kind of a struggle plant for me. It's kind of like tied to my little utility cart here because it just kind of flops around and grows so wild. The stems are really thick, so it's not super easy to like tame, but we do have some new leaves coming in here. They don't look variegated, so I don't know. I guess we'll have to see what's going on with those. But yeah, this plant always like gets burnt and I've just always had problems with it ever since I got it like 3 or 4 years ago. So yeah, it's just like, I don't know, hanging on. These are some new leaves here too. We'll see what those end up looking like. Okay, and then up here, this is one of my absolute favorites. This is my Alocasia michelisiana or Alocasia frydek, whatever you want to call it. Mine's just the green version. Yeah, just like absolutely gorgeous. Like, are you kidding me? These velvety big leaves. I love it so much. I feel like this adds so much to my bedroom. I feel like normally it's turned the other way. I don't know. I feel like I can normally see more leaves. It's constantly growing, so it's changing all the time. But yeah, just an incredibly beautiful and incredibly easygoing alocasia in my experience. In my experience, honestly, alocasia can be hard when they're smaller, but then once they start to get more mature and you've had them for a few years, then they become like quite easygoing. And then we have one of my all-time favorite plants, my Monstera dubia, which is on this wooden plank, as you can see climbing up. And look how tall it is, you guys. It has grown so much this year. Oh my gosh, it's almost as tall as me. Like, it's actually almost to my chest, which is crazy. Yeah, the leaves are getting pretty big. This has been such an easy plant to grow and just like such a cool, unique Monstera. This plant really made me appreciate like different types of Monstera more and shingling plants more. Like if you haven't tried it, honestly, give it a go. Give it a go. It's so fun. Okay, so now we are gonna go over the plant shelf here. We've got quite a few to get through. I'm just gonna start grabbing them down. So this first one is my Hoya, well, it's half Hoya Crimson Princess and then half of it is reverted, so it's just like, I guess, Hoya Carnosa, just like the regular green one. I'm really waiting for more variegated leaves because I love the princess so much. So yeah, she seems really happy under the Soltech light, and that's why I have her up there, because I'm trying to promote more growth, especially on this vine. But even the green growth is pretty too. I just like the way she looks. So yeah, she lives right here. Next to her is this Hoya Carnosa. This is a really splashy one that was actually sent to me as a really sweet bonus gift in a trade. And the person that sent it to me said that this plant gives her leaves that look really like Wilbur Gravesy, like they get really splashy or really variegated, really silvery, I guess I should say. So she said like the more you propagate, then the more you can increase your chances to get leaves like that. So I'm definitely going to be growing this out and chopping it up, and we will see what type of leaves I can get out of it. But even just like this, like I love this so much. It is just like so beautiful. I really love it in the terracotta too. It just looks so good. I recently moved it onto this shelf because I wanted it to be getting high light, even though apparently that's a myth that the light affects the variegation or like the splashiness of Hoya. I don't know. I just felt like it should be up there anyways, so just following my intuition. And then, oh my goodness, we're gonna have to talk about the Billy so that I can take it down, because I'm not gonna be able to get at any of the other plants because he literally just like blocks all of them. So this is my big Billietier right here, and as you can see, he is absolutely crazy. I actually have a piece of twine like holding this one leaf up because otherwise it just goes like straight down. And he just takes up like literally the whole shelf. So yeah, it's actually kind of comical having him up here. I should probably find a better spot, but like where else am I going to put him? Like, you've seen the space that I'm working with. I don't really have many options. Anyways, he just put out this new leaf and perfect, amazing. Looks so good. I cannot wait until it fully unfurls. It's always exciting when he gives out a new leaf. She's like, what the heck? Okay, so next we are going to talk about my, oh my goodness. I just saw the peduncle. I just saw the peduncle. This is my first time seeing this. Oh man, I was wondering if she was gonna bloom for this year. How exciting. This is my Hoya Walliniana. Oh, she's over it. Bye-bye. This is my Hoya Walliniana UT152, and this has been such an incredible Hoya for me. I've only had it for just over a year, and it came to me as like a very small, just like little cutting. It's grown into a huge, massive plant, and it bloomed for me like a few months after getting it. Actually, like not even a few, like a couple months after getting it last year. So it's just really been incredible. Like, look at the sun stressing. Oh my goodness, I love it. So I was wondering if it was gonna bloom for me this year, and look at that. Oh, that is so exciting. Really cute little blooms on this gal too. Yeah, I just can't believe like how much she grows. Look at how beautiful. Oh my goodness. Yeah, she is really happy in this spot. So many new leaves coming in as well. And then underneath her here is actually propagations from my Jade Satin Syndapsis, if you would believe that. It started, I don't know if it'd be called reverting, I guess, I don't know. It started growing completely silver, so I cut that vine off. And if you saw earlier in this video when I showed my Jade Satin Syndapsis, it's just starting to put out a new leaf. So I'm really curious if that new leaf is going to be like the jade color or if it's going to be silver. I hope it's the jade because I do want like a dark Jade Satin Syndapsis, but I also love this. So I decided to propagate these, and I'm just going to keep growing this out to see if I can keep getting like these silver leaves, because this is crazy. Like, this looks like a Syndapsis that someone would pay a lot of money for. And it just came to me like for free off of my jade one. One of my other Syndapsis is back here. This is my Exotica, which has actually been growing lately. It did not do anything for me for so long, and then I moved it under more light and it started really growing, except for it's more like bleached looking, which I don't really love, so I did just move it down a shelf to be a little bit further from the light. We'll see if I can get some darker foliage. But yeah, I'm glad that it seems to be like somewhat happy. And then we have my beautiful black velvet alocasia, which never wants to have more than one leaf at a time. You can see she did have two and she's letting it go. This is just what she does every single time. You can see like how long this like whatever this is, like she's just getting like so like woody and growing right out of the side of this container because she just keeps dropping down leaves and just like growing a new one. I don't know, it's really weird. Someone suggested it was because the light wasn't like right above it. It was kind of like beside it, so maybe the leaves were bending down and snapping off. Now the light is above it, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I don't know about this thing. I'm trying to get a corm going so that I can grow a new one because I just feel like this one is like not it. Okay, down here we have another one of my alocasia. This one is like absolutely incredible. I don't know why the leaf is kind of like curled. This is a brand new leaf on my alocasia cuprea, as you can see, which is just like so otherworldly, like such a crazy looking alocasia. I'm really happy that I have this in my collection. I don't have anything like it. It is just like so bizarre. These are some of the other leaves on it. A beautiful like deep purple maroony kind of color. Yeah, just incredible. All these plants need to be watered, by the way, pretty much. I'm going to be watering this shelf today, so if they look kind of thirsty, like I think that this is thirsty, but I will be watering it shortly, so fret not. In here is one of my begonias. This is my begonia blancii, which I think this is thirsty too. It looks a little bit floppy, but this is another like terrarium type begonia. Oh my goodness, there's a new little leaf in there. Oh man, that's so cute. I don't want to disturb it, but yeah, really interesting begonia. Like it's just so different from anything that I have with the like oblong leaf shape and the coloring. I'm actually kind of surprised that it's still doing well because I just like, I don't know. Clearly I'm not great with terrarium begonia. I try, but I'm happy to see that new leaf coming in on him. And then right here we have my Monstera Thai Constellation, which is like the most OG plant on my channel. I have so many videos about this plant that go back like years. Yeah, if you're new to my channel, this thing has rotted on me like 5 different times. I've had to reroot it, keep potting it up, and yeah, it's just been like a vicious cycle. But most recently she has given me this. There's 2 plants potted in here now. She's given me this new leaf right here, which is beautiful, and then she actually just gave me this leaf off of the smaller cutting in here, and the variegation is so stunning on this one. And it looks like she is preparing to give me a new leaf soon on the larger cutting, so I cannot wait. Definitely will update you guys when that happens. Yeah, I love her so much though, even though she has given me so much grief. Like, look at the variegation. It is just so gorgeous. Okay, so for the ones on the ground here in the darkness, I thought it'd be easier for me to just sit down here and grab them so that I can show you closer to the camera. So the first one is my Philodendron Florida Ghost, which is a current personal favorite. I actually just repotted this a couple days ago and put it into one of the fancy self-watering pots in some fresh new pon, and yeah, it seems to be really happy. It actually looks like it's preparing to put out another new leaf, so very excited about that. This is finally getting a more mature leaf shape. I've talked about this a lot recently because I'm obsessed with it. So yeah, Philodendron Florida Ghost. Beside that, we have a combo pot actually of Philodendron Dark Lord and Philodendron Silver Sword Hastatum. Somebody shared to my Discord a photo from Facebook that was like a combo pot basically of Dark Lord and Silver Sword, and the contrast just looked so cool. So mine doesn't look like much because they're all just like really young and it just looks kind of like messy because I did this not too long ago. But I feel like once these grow, it's gonna be really cool. So stay tuned to see what it looks like once it gets bigger. And also, I have no idea like who the original poster was of that photo on Facebook, or else I would credit them and mention it, but I just have no idea. Next is my Hoya Chelsea, which, oh, it's actually giving me a new leaf. This is a really slow growing Hoya in my experience, but I still do really like it. I love how dark the new leaves come in. Like, it's just really beautiful. I would love to have a full like hanging basket pot of this one day, but for now mine's just one vine. I should actually try to propagate this and fill it out. Hoyas tend to push out new vines when you cut them too, so it can be really helpful to cut your Hoya. And then in front of that is just a baby philodendron verrucosum propagation that I recently potted up. Very cute. It's just in a chunky potting mix and it's been doing fine. And then, oh my goodness, this gal is starting to take up a lot of room because she's getting massive. But this is my variegated Maranta. Yeah, she is just like really growing, constantly putting out new growth. This is definitely one of my favorite types of Maranta. The silver band has been on my wish list for a long time, but other than that one, I would have to say that this is my favorite. I just think it's so beautiful. There's so much variety with what the leaves are gonna look like. Like, the variegation comes in all different types of ways. This changes color depending on what lighting you have it in. If you have this like right under a grow light, it will turn super red and pink. It is just like so pretty. Honestly, such an underrated plant. I never see people have these, but I've had this for years and I'm just such a big fan. I love it so much. I think it's so beautiful. You can even like hang them because they start to kind of like trail or cascade down. They're just so cool. And mine's actually flowering. If you can see, it's flowered a lot this year actually. It's put out like multiple, oh, there's two. It's put out multiple little like flowers, but yeah, very cute. Very cute, and honestly easygoing. Like, as long as you water it, it's fine. Okay, next are my variegated Hoyabellas. So this is a combo pot of both the inner variegated and the outer variegated. I have had so much trouble with these, you guys, like so much trouble. I thought maybe they had the Hoya flat mites, which maybe they do or did. I treated this a whole bunch for mites and I took it out of the greenhouse cabinet. So I don't know if like taking it out of the cabinet is what helped, or if it was a mite problem, if that just resolved, I don't know. I'm actually waiting for a microscope to come in the mail. I ordered one, so I'm really excited to like look at my problem Hoya to see if I can spot anything. But yeah, this is finally like growing and looking better. Like, this looks so much better than it did even a month ago, which I'm really happy about. I love both of these Hoya so much. I love just like the original green Hoyabella too, but I don't have one. I just have these two variegated ones, so I really want to grow it out to like a full pot. This is just a baby Monstera dubia, which I'm going to be sending out to a friend within the next couple of weeks, which is really exciting. Yeah, I took it out of my prop box a couple weeks ago, potted it up, put it on this little plank, and it seems to be doing really well. Okay, this was a bit of a problem Hoya for me as well. This is my Hoya Moana Loa. It's less of a problem than my like outer variegated Hoya compacta, but it still just has never really done super well for me. I will be showing my green compacta in a minute, but Hoya compacta is one of my all-time favorite plants, which is why I like really wanted to grow the variegated versions, but for some reason they just don't like me, and my regular green one just thrives, so I don't know what it is. Again, I will be like checking these out under the microscope, so maybe I'll find something out, but yeah. I'm just picking up these plants from the floor at this point, by the way, you guys. I just have like, yeah, it's a hot mess, honestly. I just have everything kind of like clustered around here in front of the grow light. So this next one is my Hoya obovata. This is actually another one of my favorite Hoyas. I just love the large round leaves. I think it's such a classic. I would love to get this in a hanging basket one day and maybe like hang it from my bed or something. But yeah, like the newest leaf is just like, oh my goodness, I love that so much. It is just so perfect. And there's a new little leaf coming in as well. I also recently combined a couple different plants in here, so now I think I have 3. This one doesn't look like it's doing amazing, maybe. Oh, maybe it's okay. I think I have 3 different plants in here now, so I expect it to get more full over the next little while. Alright, next we have my Philodendron El Choco Red, which I have been on a journey with this plant as well, and I haven't shown it in a while actually, but I do finally have an update, and it is that we have a new leaf, which, oh my goodness, I'm just so happy about. It looks a little damaged. I think it was like stuck in the cataphil for quite some time. This is the first leaf that it's given me since the whole root rot rooting, repotting situation, which honestly I'm like quite impressed that it gave me like this big of a leaf to be the first leaf after all of that. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. So now I have 3 leaves on this again. This is the one that is not looking too hot, but we still have the beautiful top one. And now this new little cutie. Philodendron El Choco Red is one of my all-time favorite philodendrons. Like as far as the velvet leaf ones go, this one is like super fast growing, sizes up incredibly quickly, and I just think that it's like so beautiful, especially when the new leaves are emerging. It's just like, oh my goodness, I love it so much. But yeah, unfortunately mine rotted several months ago, so it's been a time. Okay, and then I have some propagations down here. So the first one, this big leaf, is my Philodendron Majestic. This is a cutting off of the one that I showed earlier. And unfortunately, something happened after I set this down here. What did happen? I dropped something, oh, I think it might have been my grow light. I think I like stepped on this like tall grow light and it came crashing down onto this plant. But it snapped the petiole, so I tried to repair it. I have had success with bracing leaves like this before. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but honestly, it does work. If you snap a petiole, unless it's like completely severed, obviously, if it's still, like if it's just like, you know what I mean. It's still like attached, but it's like broken, you can attempt to like bandage it up and give it a brace. So that's what I've done here, and it's actually hanging on, you guys, and it's starting to push out a new leaf here. So I honestly thought I was gonna lose this cutting, but let's check on the roots. It's starting to root. It's starting to root. Look at that. Nice white roots coming out of there. So I think that this is actually gonna be okay. I also just have several Monstera standoliana cuttings in here. This is my favorite leaf. Look at, oh my goodness, that is just so pretty. I'm trying to compile a plant together that is like highly variegated. Oh man, this water needs to be changed and all these cuttings are falling in. Anyways, yeah, those are the little propagations that I have in this like cutie little vessel. Okay, and then I have a little Alocasia Maharani, which is a really cool, like, textured alocasia. Mine is obviously just a baby. This is the newest leaf. This just came out not long ago, actually. Like, honestly, just like a couple days ago. So mine just has 3 leaves now, but it honestly seems to be really easy going so far. So yeah, I've just been having like a great time growing this, and I cannot wait to see the leaves when they start maturing. These look incredible when they're larger. And then I just have some cuttings. This was from one of my no ID epipremnums. I have 2, or had 2 plants that were gifted to me by a friend that were both no ID epipremnums that looked like similar to Cebu Blue, not the same but similar. And this was one of them. It unfortunately just like completely rotted on me out of nowhere. It was bizarre. It was like thriving, doing so well, and then one day like all the leaves were wilting. So I took a bunch of cuttings from it when I started seeing that happening, which I'm glad I did, because shortly after the whole plant just croaked. So now I have a whole bunch of cuttings in here. These are actually rooted, most of them as well, so I am going to be able to save it and have a new plant, which I'm very grateful for. They're just in sphagnum moss, but yeah, that's what's in here. I do have silver sword cuttings down here too. I forgot to show those. They're kind of like tucked behind, but I have like 3 containers of those, and I also have my perlite prop box up here, which I'm not going to go through in this video. I have like separate videos all about that if you are interested. I have one that's kind of recent too that goes through it. But yeah, there's a bunch of cuttings in there too. Okay, and then the last plant I'm going to show you down here is my Begonia Gray Feather. This is a cutting that I took off of my main one, and this is potted into leca just because, like I've said, I'm so bad with watering begonias, and once these dry out, they get really crispy, they drop leaves, they just don't look great. So I decided to try leca for this one, and I don't know if I can see any roots yet. Not really. I just did this not too long ago. It's in a self-watering pot. I mean, we'll see how it goes. I hope that it does well though. This is one of my all-time favorite begonias. It is so cool. Look at the backs. Like, oh my goodness, so pretty. Okay, I'm gonna stand up again. We'll continue. Alright, so next is my Monstera Albo, which is getting so big. Wow, I cannot believe how tall she is. I just moved her to the shower the other day to wash her off and give her a good soak. And I just like put her down and I was like, oh my goodness, this plant is almost as tall as me now. Like, it's just crazy. And this is the newest leaf. It is so perfect. I love this so much. I love the marbled variegation, and this just looks like so... I don't know, it just looks pristine and like super symmetrical, beautiful. I love it. The last one came out with a big chunk of white, but the shape isn't as good. I don't know. Anyways, I do really love when she gives me like this marbled variegation. I think that that is so nice. She is super happy on this Trifolia self-watering pole. I've just been loving this setup with that pole and this like cute light blue pot. I think she looks so good. Once she gets to the top of here, I will be taking a cutting, and I've never propagated Monstera Albo before ever, so I am kind of nervous for that. But I'm sure that it'll go well, hopefully. I don't know. Let's cross our fingers. And then beside her here is my Philodendron Camposportuanum. I was talking about how I have a bigger one. This is like my mother one, I guess. I don't know why it's usually not as close. Let's move it over a bit. Yeah, this is what she looks like. Just so, so beautiful. You can see she's finally starting to get that more mature leaf shape. Here's a new leaf that just came out. It's that like pretty orangey color. Yeah, I just love this plant so much. It's so fast growing. I feel like I just extended this moss pole and now she's already at the top, which is just crazy. By the way, don't mind my mess in the corner over there. That's like all my extra cabinet stuff that I'm not using. I have nowhere to put it. Anyways, yeah, love Philodendron Camposportuanum. I've already talked a lot about it, so I'm not going to go on, but that is my biggest one right there. And then behind my Monstera Albo here, we have my Hoya compacta that I was referring to, just the regular green one. I've had this thing for years now. It has been such a good grower for me. I've never had a single issue with it, and it is one of my all-time favorite plants. It did bloom for me last year. I have not seen any blooms this year, but you never know. It could still bloom. We still have like another, month or so of prime blooming season, so we'll see. Right next to that is my variegated bear paw. This is one of my all-time favorite succulents. It's just like super funny, fuzzy and cute. I find them to be pretty easy care. Ooh, mine is thirsty. Yeah, I just have the variegated version right now and I love it. I think it's so pretty. And then we have my Ripsalis paradoxa. This is just like the regular one, the like thicker one. This has grown for me a ton this year. Like I said, I love Ripsalis and Ripsalis paradoxa in particular, so I've been super happy with how well this is doing. I hope one day I have like a huge like hanging pot of this. That would be so cool. But yeah, it seems to be doing well there. Right here I have some alocasia corms that are rooting in perlite. So this is what I've been doing, is just having them in perlite and then putting a little pot on top to act as like a humidity dome, and it seems to be working really well. Not sure what kind those two are. I guess I'll find out when they put out leaves. And then right here we have my Hoya polynera, which I love very much. I now really want the variegated one because I was watching Hakuna LaPlanta's video the other day. So that is now on my wish list, but for now I will just be appreciating my regular green one. She is so gorgeous, and I also saved her from the brink of death when she was completely attacked by thrips back when she was like a nice full plant. So this is what I have left of her, and I'm very grateful, and yeah, just a beautiful, beautiful Hoya. Right here is supposed to be variegated string of hearts. Not much is left of it. I am trying to like propagate. I have a couple small strands. I don't know. I might just have to end up replacing this one day, but I'm not sure what happened. It just like completely croaked on me one day. Then there's just a golden pothos here. This is my only golden pothos. Grew this from cuttings, and it's finally like starting to get more full and starting to trail a little bit, which is cool. I love the variegation on golden pothos though. I think it's so pretty. And then next to that, this is actually really cool. So I was just saying that I have a couple of no ID epipremnums. So this is the other one. It's actually doing really well in this semi-hydro setup, and it just gave me a new leaf the other day. And look at this, you guys. It has a little fenestration. Like, is that what that is? Oh my gosh, I was so shook when I saw this. I've never had that before. I've never had any of my epipremnums fenestrate. So that is just like the coolest thing ever, if that's what's going on. I really love this one. It looks similar to Cebu Blue, but it's really like pointy, the leaves, like they're really like thin and pointy. It looks really cool. So yeah, that's been really happy apparently in this window. Next to that is my string of, wait, silver dollar vine. Silver dollar vine, that's what this is called. Oh my goodness, it escaped me for a minute. Yes, this is my silver dollar vine, and it is incredibly beautiful. This thing has grown so much for me in the past couple months. Like, it has just been putting out new growth like crazy. I think it's so pretty. Again, has that like silvery blue tone, of course, and the really round leaves that I'm a fan of. I need to get this potted up. Not sure what I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna keep it trailing. But yeah, I probably will just like pot this into terracotta. I think it'll look so pretty just trailing. Next to that is my zombie plant. This is a type of euphorbia, and it literally just looks like a dead plant. It is so cool. This gives me like haunted house vibes. Another one that is super perfect for spooky season coming up. Yeah, it's been doing well for me. I haven't really been able to notice if it's grown. I think it maybe has though. I should look at the old footage and see what it looked like when I unboxed it, because I feel like this is pretty big. This is another succulent. I have no idea what this is called. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to check, but this is so cute. It's like a silvery, almost like, it looks like it has a fuzz all over it, little succulent in this tiny little terracotta planter. It is so cute. I got this a couple months ago. It hasn't really, oh, it looks like it's actually putting out new growth right there. So sweet. Yeah, it hasn't really changed much since I got it, I don't think, but it seems to be happy in my window, so I'm happy with that. Next to that is my Nepenthes cutting that I was talking about. I'm trying to propagate it in sphagnum moss. Hasn't done anything yet. I just put it in this sphagnum like a couple weeks ago, so I'm just keeping that moist. And then we have my Piper, right? Oh my goodness, I don't know why the name has just like completely escaped me, but this is doing really well. I got this a couple months ago too, and I've been rooting it in water. I actually thought that this was gonna croak after shipping. It just looked like pretty droopy and sad, but it seems to be doing well. Like, it's really well rooted. I actually have to pot this up soon. Oh my goodness, look at the new growth trying to come in. Okay, I really need to get this potted up. It has a ton of roots and a new little leaf. Like, look at that. That is so cute. I do not have anything like this in my collection, so I'm excited to grow this and see how it goes. I really don't know much about it, but it's really pretty, as you can see. The one thing that I do know about it is that it puts out these weird crystals on the back of it, and I was so weirded out when I first got this because I had no idea of that. Like, I just didn't know anything about this plant, so I'd never seen this on like any plant ever before, so I was just like shook. And I washed it off because I was like, what the heck? And then I learned that. So, fun fact, if you get one, do not freak out about all of the weird, like, minerals on the back. Alright, and then moving over to my little drawer setup thing. I have a humidifier back there that I have not used in months and months. In the winter, I might start using it again, because that's when it gets like dry in here from running the heat. But during the summer, my place is like quite humid just naturally, so I don't really need it. Anyways, right here is my huge, beautiful Anthurium forgetii. I know she's beat up. It's been a journey, okay? But I still love her. I think that this plant is really beautiful, and I look forward to the day when I can have like a not jacked up leaf, you know? I've been saying that for a long time, but the day will come, you guys. I promise, the day will come. Right there, I just have a little baby Melanochrysum. I don't really know what that's doing there. It's just like chilling. I think I was trying to make room in one of my cabinets. And then we have my Hoya Shepherdii, which I kind of fell in love with this Hoya this year as well. Probably because it just really started growing for me. I had this for a couple years and it didn't really do much. Like, it was kind of sparse, but it's really filled out this year, and it has bloomed for me multiple times, which was really cool. And also just like really nice to have a blooming Hoya in my bedroom. It made it smell so good in here, and it was just like, I don't know, just like good vibes having it blooming in here. So yeah, I've really been appreciating my Hoya Shepherdii this year. Okay, we are almost done, you guys. I know, this is a long video. Oh my goodness, if you've made it to the end, you are the best ever. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through these hanging ones on my bed frame. This is empty. This is where my philodendron micans was, so yeah. So here is my Hoya linearis, one of my favorite Hoyas. How many times have I said that? I don't know, but this is one of my all-time, like probably top 3 favorite Hoyas. I just think that it's so pretty. I love like hanging or trailing plants, so I've really been working on getting this to fill out and become like a fuller and just like larger plant this year. I think that it's gone pretty well, honestly. We have a lot of cuttings that are just kind of getting established around the top. It's been a really easygoing plant for me, honestly. Next to that, not easygoing at all for some reason. I thought that this was going to be a really easy plant, but it just like hates me. This is my trailing jade. It constantly just like, the vines will just rot off and just like fall out of the pot. I think it's probably not getting enough light. But yeah, I've never had a plant just like be that dramatic. Like this used to be a nice full plant and now it's very sparse. I mean, it looks like pretty good actually right now for my previous experience with it, so maybe we've turned a corner, we will see. But yeah, I think it's such a cool, unique plant. I don't see a lot of people have it, and like I said, I love trailing plants, so I was so excited to get it, but yeah, it just like promptly tried to croak on me. And then next to that one, we have my queen here, my Hoya Crimson Queen. This is another like OG on my channel. It's kind of like turned around right now. Maybe I'll show you the more full side. Okay, yeah, I have had this Hoya for years at this point. She is massive, as you can see. Yeah, she's magnificent. I love her so much. Like, she is just so, so beautiful. I love everything about this plant. Look at how many just, like, white leaves she gives me. Oh my goodness. Just so, so pretty. I only water her, like, once every 4 to 6 weeks. She's honestly so low maintenance. She's never had a pest or anything like that. She just, like, hangs out here and looks beautiful. So, yeah, I love her so much. Next to her is my Marble Queen Pothos. This is Greta. If you have been on my channel for a while, I used to have a massive, like massive Marble Queen Pothos, and I ended up completely chopping it up, and this is one of the babies from that. I love the variegation on this plant. Like, this is just so pretty to me. Marble Queen is just like such an incredible plant. Yeah, so extremely beautiful. Mine is finally starting to trail, which was one of my goals for this year, so I'm super happy about that. I'm just gonna keep continuing growing this and trying to get it to be like a massive, full, long Marble Queen Pothos again, but she's doing well. She's doing well. And then next to her, we have my Cebu Blue Pothos, which is doing well too, actually. It's like hanging kind of crooked, but it's starting to get really full. I recently potted a bunch of cuttings back into it, and it's also like quite long. I love it just kind of hanging on my bed frame like this. I think that it looks so pretty. It actually kind of matches my comforter right now, which is funny. What can I say? I love this like tone of leaf, tone of foliage. Such a beautiful plant. I struggled with it for a while, but now it's doing really well. So that is what he is looking like. And then I think these are the last ones over here. Oh my goodness. So first of all, I just have a cutting of Cebu Blue hanging out here. I love these like wall-mounted propagation stations. I think that is so cute. And then I have my mother plant of my begonia gray feather just hanging out here. First of all, I love the pot that it's in. I got that from Michael's, and I kind of wish I would have gotten another one too because it's just so pretty. But yeah, this just like I said, I kind of was underwatering my begonias and it started to get like crispy on the leaves, and I just wasn't super happy with how it was looking. That's why I decided to propagate and put that other one in leca. So we'll see how it goes, but yeah, for now I have this one, and oh my goodness, yeah, she is beautiful. She is beautiful. Okay, holy smokes, that was a long one. If you have made it to the end, thank you so, so much. Also, if you are new here, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more Planty content. If you are old here, you are the best. Thank you so much for all of the support. I appreciate you like crazy. And yeah, leave me a comment down below. Let me know any like thoughts or questions. I would love to chat with you. Also, don't forget to like this video if you liked it. It really helps me out. I guess I'll just keep the outro short and sweet because, yeah, this video is like out of control long. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!